Kicking it off. This is fifth episode.
Yes, because part 3 was a 2.
So far, I'm good with it. What about you?
Good with what?
With the rhythm that we are getting into, with the editing part, which I actually had the fucking nightmares. Yay. With the feedback.
But now you can kick off your new career.
Yeah, me and AI racing. Who is going to do better?
Listen, I could have never done it. You've done a fantastic job. It sounds really good.
Considering, you know what is funny? All the platforms that I'm using, there are a couple of different platforms, are actually giving me an opportunity to let AI do something. And it's very weird because I'm coming from the tech industry. But I still, with the lack of experience and the lack of detailed knowledge, I feel more comfortable for me to do it by myself.
And because of your personality, you feel more comfortable. No, but yeah, everything freaking has AI. The other day I opened an Adobe document and it had AI, and I'm like, why do you need AI for Adobe? But apparently there it was. So, no, but you've done really good. I would have never been able to do it. And considering that we've forgotten to turn on mics, and then some mics have been on, but muffled. And that time I sounded like I came out of a tunnel. These sound really crisp and everything, and the music and everything is really good. So kudos to you.
And you. Oh my God, this is a joint project. Okay, so we decided this episode we're gonna dedicate to friendship.
Yes, the ones that helped us form into who we are today, the ones that were lost, and the ones that continue, new ones, old ones, and everything in between.
Yeah. Friends are a huge part of our life, good and bad.
And absolutely necessary to have your social circle. This conversation started because we were wondering, I've always asked myself why it is that I've always felt that when I break up with the man, when I have a relationship, I always go into the relationship thinking that it's going to eventually end. And maybe that's for another episode that I have. I don't have a happily ever after, but I go in there, I expect to be heartbroken by a dude, but no one ever talks about the heartbreak you feel, the heartache you feel when a friendship ends.
Yes. And I think that people do talk about it, but it's more on this is what happened, I'm so fucking pissed, blah, 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 blah. Person who is on the other side is like, yeah, I don't understand, and do a little bit of trash talk, and then it's done. But then when you get by yourself and start thinking about it, you realize it's not done.
No, it usually isn't, especially if it's people that you've had obviously some type of connection because they're your friends, right? But when I put you in the category of a friend, it's forever. That's what we're going to talk about. So I guess I'm going to start with my first best friend, who, because of distance, I haven't seen in 20 years, but we still keep in contact and we message and feel that now that we're adults and she has grown children and stuff, there's still that familiar thing with us to where I feel that I could just pick up and start right off. We met when I was 14 or 15 and we changed high school, yeah. And imagine coming from a big city to a small town to high school where everybody knows everybody. 10 of those kids had been together since they were in kindergarten. And I started in the second to last year. And I was the new girl in every sense of the word, where in school I was new, in the town I was new. It was really hard. And she became my best friend almost immediately. And I guess it was also because we were kind of forced to, because we lived 26 miles in the opposite direction. So we drove to school together. Her name is Carolina. I love her very much. I feel that we're still very close. She was my first true friend. Before that, it was just childhood friendships that it's pretty much because your parents are friends and stuff. That friendship was location, and there was no one else around, really. There were other girls around, obviously, but we were in the same class and the same age, and we were in the same circle. So I'm glad that we liked each other, because if we didn't, then it would have been very lonely for me in high school, because she was my only friend.
And then what happened when the high school was over?
Then when high school was over, we always kept in touch. We moved to separate towns for university, but every spring break I was there. She would come to visit me in Santo Domingo. I would go visit her in Sosua. We were always together, always. I knew her now husband of, I don't know, 25 years or something, when they were both in university. We had common friends in common. That friendship never faltered. It never broke, to the point where I've had in that time when I was like in my teens, early 20s, university, and then I graduated. I remember my mom once time telling me after one of these friends that weren't really friends and we had a fight, my mother was like, "She is no Carolina." And I'm like, no one can be Carolina. Carolina is only Carolina. So, love you, Caro. So yes, I hope to see her one day. We will when we go to the DR next year.
She's there.
Yeah,
She never left.
She never left. No, she's there. When we do the North Short trip, you will meet her.
But she's not a friend. She's a family.
Yeah. I guess you could say that. When we talk to each other, we call each other manita. Yeah. She's my longest friend that I've had. And she knew me in my original version. So I bet you could be surprised of who I am now, since it's been literally decades since we've talked. And we go through these things where we're communicating all the time, and then other times we're like on a birthday or something. If I hear a song or if something reminds me, I'm there, and we'll write to each other. But she knew me in my original versions. She knew the woo-woo side of me and the creepy, and she got to experience that firsthand by being around me. So that's not a lot of people have experienced that. We called each other's parents aunt and uncle. And my dad was her. Oh yeah, that's right. My dad, she got baptized when we were in high school, and my dad was her godfather.
There you go.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she was there when my dad died. Literally there. The first person in my house was her. And her family, of course. And then I've always referred to her mom and dad as Tia Rafael and Tia Rina. Brother treated me like a snotty younger sister. Yeah. My brother and I shared a room when we were teenagers, and he was always there in the middle of our gossip and everything. He was one of the girls. So yeah, family. So it will be really nice the day that the two of you meet, because I'm sure she's still a lovely person. I hope you are.
Will she think that you are still a lovely person?
I don't know. That's another reason friendships end, isn't it? When you feel that you've outgrown the person, or that person has outgrown you.
People just change, right? We change the way we look at life, the way we react, the way we tolerate, the way we build, the way we change. Sometimes it's a good change. Sometimes it's not a great change. It's great when you are able to realize, oh my God, this is not the way I want it to be. And then you work on that. But we definitely change. I changed a lot. And I think that the reason, because I changed a lot, all All my friendships as well changed, and majority of them did not survive, which is okay, which is fine. As Constanza would say, people live our lives for the good reason.
You meet people and sometimes you assume that they're always going to be there. Do you have anybody like that where you're like, yes, this person's going to be there forever? Or in my foreseeable future?
I had a friend. First of all, for me, friends are equal family, which means boundaries practically do not exist. Or it was the case before. And I think that is not good, because eventually you feel hurt or disappointed or left out or betrayed in this or other way, blah, blah. So I think that boundaries are very important. Not only setting them, but also respecting them. But I do have a friend with who I was a friend for 20, 25 years, right? And the friendship ended. I ended it. I ended it on purpose, consciously. I said, this is enough. Because that's the good decision for the friend and for me. Do I miss her? Yes. Do I want her back? No. We changed completely. In that friendship, I actually changed a lot, right? And I did a lot of work trying to find my place in that friendship so I can feel comfortable. I was very uncomfortable for different reasons. And I did a lot of therapy and I did a lot of work and I did a lot of conversation of, we need to work on this in order to survive.
We, as in you and her, need to work on this.
Yes.
You spoke that to the therapist.
I spoke that to the therapist first and then developed the maybe certain,
she gave you the tools,
how to use it so I can feel more comfortable and less exhausted and less burdened and all that. And then I tried to communicate with a friend very directly, but you cannot change people. And that is perfectly fine. People can change only if they want to change, right? But if people with who you are in touch, the energy and the vibration that you are feeling is not good for you, and you feel exhausted and you feel violated in every kind of way, which sounds bad, but it is not bad. It is just how humans interact. Then you need, at the end of the day, to protect yourself.
I have one in that category too. The friendship was exhausting. And it could be that at the time she required more than I could give her, or I didn't know how to give her. It was definitely about boundaries, definitely. And I ended that one in and not in a nice way. It wasn't one of those things where we talked about it because I was very immature and I didn't know I could do it that way, but I did. And I know that I did hurt her. And then I've reached out to her since, but I haven't apologized. So now I'm going to take the opportunity. Stimpy, it's Ren. I'm sorry, but at the time, it was a lot. I was going through some stuff and I just couldn't. She required too much energy from my part on being a friend, and I couldn't be that type of friend that could be there 24. She needed more attention than what I can give. I actually remember at some point saying, it's just that girls are so much harder than boys. I'd rather be a friend with a boy because he doesn't need me to check in all the time and to blah, blah, blah. But it had nothing to do with that. It had to do with I wasn't in the right place to be able to give to that friendship. I feel that now, because of communication, like you said, and many years of therapy and wine, if we were to reconnect, or I think I could handle it better. On that note, do you think men and women can be friends?
Absolutely, yes. And I am the living example. I personally feel more comfortable surrounded with men, but not in the flirty way, right? But dude, what's up, bro, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but that's because you're sitting in that masculine energy.
Yeah, and I think that men feel comfortable around me. I also think that you need to be very honest when you enter in the friendship with a man. You need to be very on point and very direct. Because my male friends, they are gonna give me like, oh my God, how you look. And then they get nasty with the comments and I'm like, fuck off. And they know that nothing is gonna happen. They're just being men. But I witnessed many times where women are keeping men around them in a friend zones.
That's a second choice.
Which is not fair. It's not okay. Because you know how men are.
Yeah, but that's not a true friendship then. That's just a placeholder. And no one deserves to be a placeholder.
But I was in a company of females who would say, I prefer men company. That's the energy where I sit. But then I see that shit is happening and then I'm confused. I don't talk to my friends like that. I don't do that. And I don't think it's fair. And I think that based on these kind of experiences, you will probably hear from the majority of men that they do not think the true friendship between men and a woman can actually exist, except if the man is gay, right?
I think what's necessary here from the very beginning is to tell your male friend that it's never ever going to happen. He needs to go into this relationship knowing, or not knowing, maybe you don't have to tell him. He needs to believe it and feel it. It's never ever going to happen. Because you're right. I think that there's the attraction from me to him may not exist because I'm like, he's one of the bros. He's a friend. And the other way around, it might. And because of that primal, I need to conquer and I am the pursuer, maybe it comes across. But
happened to me a couple of times way back when I was much, much younger, when I had the experiences when a male friend would come to me and literally tell me, look, I'm in love with you and I cannot pretend anymore. And that did not have the happy movie ending. It was like, I'm sorry, but this is the end.
You said that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't think that it would be fair if he developed these kind of feelings for me and I know that I cannot return that.
And it wasn't a placeholder.
Yes. I don't think that it's fair.
No, it isn't. Because then you would be like that other person you were talking about. No. I don't know. Am I one of those friends to men that their wives could always feel 100%? It's Wanda. Abso-fucking-lutely. Always. Actually, the people I work with, and if I interact with them, if they're dudes, and then I meet their wives, I end up being friends with their wives. And then they're like, I thought you were my friend first. Nah, you were just there to introduce me. But yes, I can have a relationship with guys. I've always had it. I had really close straight friends? No. Right there in the zone of a bit more than acquaintance, not a really best friend. If I think about it, my male best friends have always been gay, which we will have an episode for. Maybe not about gay best friends, but about the important gay men in our lives.
Yes. But truly important. Not a fashion statement and accessory.
No, really important. Absolutely important, necessary. The love of our lives. Our gay best friends. What about you? Who? Tell me. Who's gone and will never come back? Not because of your choice. Who banned you? And you're never come back from?
I think that the biggest lesson that I learned over the years through my friendship is that people do not like when you are honest.
Only friends? Really?
It happened twice to me in the past 5 years that I've been completely cut off or ghosted or whatever you're gonna call it. First was a friend with whom I sincerely swear on my son's life, remember the conversation so vividly that we had about her ongoing hookup. And it was with my male friend.
I know what you're talking about.
And I just saw over time that I know what he's telling me and how he's approaching this. And his story did not change from the day one. And I think that he was very fair, very honest, and very on point, right? When it comes to her and how he said what he can offer and what she can expect and what she cannot expect. But months are passing by and the way she's seeing all that completely changes, and I'm sensing that she's in feelings. There was a conversation where I honestly, with no raising voices, being harsh, being like that blunt, the way I can be honest, but really tried to be sensitive to tell her, you're at that age where times matter. And if you see this realistically and you're fine with it, you know how things are, then fine, do whatever you want. But if you think that this is something that it is not, and the time's gonna pass by, then you're gonna be fucking pissed. Pissed at yourself, pissed at him, pissed at everybody. Right? Because this is not how you now see it in your head. And we ended the conversation with she telling me, yes, absolutely, I hear you, I understand, thank you. And then she disappeared.
Which is hard to do when you live in the same city.
When you live a couple of blocks away. And when this is the person that you talk to every day, which is really weird. And then I tried to reach out once, I tried to reach out twice. Third time I was like, did I offend you with anything? And if I did, please tell me what it is. I will apologize because I'm not coming from that place. She completely ignored me. And then I learned from him that she thought that I was jealous of her relationship with him.
How long have you known this man?
Almost 2 decades.
And her?
As well.
And was she gone?
She's completely gone.
And him?
No, we're friends.
I guess you made the right choice.
I talked to him and he said, you did not do anything wrong. You tried to fucking reset her because she was going in completely different direction.
Do you know what I think? And I'm going to give people more credit than what they deserve. But I would like to think that at some point in time, the person on the other side of these conversations that we're having, of these friendships that have ended, has actually come to their senses and wants to do something. And by then, maybe so much time has passed or pride or something, and they don't. And I just want to put this out there into the universe. Friendships are worth fighting for. Just pick up the phone, just send the text, just try it, because you'll always regret it if you don't. And then you'll know for sure, depending on what the other person says, right? But
absolutely. But that's why I asked you the question and put it out there. And that's what I thought after some time passed by. I said, maybe my vision of the friendship was not realistic.
so you thought you were more friends than what she thought. God, but for 20 years, that's
Because
a long time
if
to have.
she was able to think, knowing me for so long, knowing me how I am when it comes to my friends, who I identify as a family, knowing how much I'm lacking fucking filter, right? I'm not the person who is gonna plot and construct because I don't have that in me. I'm like,
Yes.
I was like, maybe I was not her friend. Maybe she did not see me as a friend. I thought that we were. And then that's the moment when the peace comes, right? Because then you're like, I'm good with it. It's fine.
It's a heartbreak. It's like breaking up. Some people you're like, whatever, I don't care. Really, we weren't that close. And then some people, it takes time for your heart to heal, and you revisit things and you miss them and you talk about them and you reminisce, and then slowly but surely you start healing, and then that little hole in your heart closes up, and then you can just put them over there forever for a truck to run over.
These are like the hard experiences that we have, which is perfectly fine. But I think that we have really good stories as well.
Yes, absolutely. On friendships that have recent ones, because I feel that in this age, I really want to say that and it's because I completely moved location and countries. So I am one of those fortunate people that have made friends in different places that I've lived, worked, whatever. And I am an expat, which means that there's always going to be people coming in and leaving your life, right? I live in a place where people just, if you're lucky, you get to spend a year or two with someone and then they move on. And it's really hard when you find someone that you connect with, because those people leave too, which is, I think, one of the reasons why it's so hard to find a freaking date. Because men are like, oh, I'm not going to settle down because I'm leaving in a year and a half. There's no such thing as a plane, Henry. I can't fly to you, but whatever. Friendships at this stage in life, I feel, should be approached slightly different. You can't be jaded. Like, I can honestly say I can be jaded about meeting men. I'm sorry. Like I said before, nothing will fucking surprise me. But with friendships, especially female friendships that we know are so important, and this is why we live longer, because the love that we have from our female friends cannot be replicated, cannot be replaced. They fill our heart with joy. And let's face it, you're the best husband I'm ever going to have.
Likewise.
Exactly. Come on. Before we started, what was I doing? Ordering fucking flowers for someone in another country because I'm old. Why? Because I want my friend to feel appreciated and loved on her birthday. Even though the delivery driver went to another address. I love you, Lily Bell. But it's one of those things where at this stage in life, how do our friendships, how do you make friends? How do we find them? Do you go through a selective process? Do you let it happen naturally? Do you just click with people? Is it possible to click with people at this stage in life? And my answer to that is yes, absolutely. You can have new best friends always. That's the whole thing about growing. You leave that version of yourself, or you continue with it with however long it is, depending on how fabulous you think you are. And I'm not tired of it myself, but you leave that version of yourself, and then you meet people that you just connect with. And I think that's a beautiful thing, that you can connect with people. You just know, like with other females, you know if you're going to like them or not. Then you find out the other stuff and you kind of weigh it. Is this something I can live with or not? Are you more tolerant now than you were in the past when it comes to friendships that you can make?
No, my tolerance definitely is lower in every kind of aspect of my life. But I think that I changed the point how I view friendship, because friend, just like the male partner, cannot cover all your needs.
Correct.
And because of that, you feel really great when you have a friend with who you can have coffees and chit chat once in a couple of weeks. Or you have a friend where you feel very comfortable to pick up a phone and just unload out of the blue. And then you have a friend with who you can go to theater and stuff like that. And you can have a friend with who you can
Start a
travel.
podcast with.
Well, I think that you are my only friend that I can do everything.
Oh, that's sweet. You're the same for me.
And that you enjoy everything that I want to do. It's perfect. I'm like, fuck it. I know that people have their lives. I know that people, things happening. I know that everything that is happening in their life influence their tone of communication. It's not that something maybe I did at that point. I don't take it anymore as personal, right? And because of that, I think that people that I'm currently surrounded with, I'm just having really good energy. Not that our lives are all roses.
No, but I mean, that's a better point, right? It's not like we're all here singing songs.
That's what I'm telling you.
Waving flowers or whatever people do when they're really happy.
I think that from the group of people that I'm currently really close to, everybody's going through some major shift in life and something that is really big happening. But we can laugh, we can do something fun, we can talk shit and just give us a little bit of space to recharge so we can deal with all that shit. These people are like, shit happens, but we are going to go through that. And that is what actually goes well with me and my energy, because if you're surrounded with people who are constantly, everything is shit and everything is gonna stay shit, then you are dealing with the empathy, you're approaching that with the understanding, you're trying to help, you're trying just to listen, you're trying to give advice, you try to take action, nothing is fucking working, right? And you're exhausted. And this is not a good match. Just like a relationship, you just need to have a good match.
It shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't be hard. My friendships now that survived probably the most challenging life stage, what I was going through in the past 3 years, are the ones that survived without an effort. Just normal.
And was there anybody in the last 3 years that surprised you? That you were like, oh, I didn't think this person was... You didn't feel you were so close to that person, and look, they're still around.
It's gonna start so fun. It's not a person. It's a community.
Okay. So, is it alcoholics?
Oh, everybody.
Does it have to do with
Everybody
this?
loves to drink, I need to say.
Okay.
But is it because they're trying to cover certain things that are happening, or maybe because we are just cold, hockey parents?
They're all sitting here
Freezing our asses through the whole week, every freaking day, right? And then there is a combination of freezing your ass and maybe dying of those smells of walkers and
the boys are all the same age, right? 13?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So that community completely surprised me, because when I entered it 3 years ago, the whole first season I was sitting by myself.
Yeah, that's true, because I went to some of those games.
And I was sitting by myself because I was not in a good place. I didn't think that I would be able to contribute through the conversation. I think that the heaviness that I was feeling was so obvious that I would bring the cloud. So I was sitting outside and observing, and sometimes I was getting involved, but not that much. But then the second season, things changed, and now I know these people. I wouldn't say we are close friends, but we are very comfortable with each other, right? Because you need to be comfortable with a person when you are talking shit during the games and screaming, "Scat!" You
Not to mention that you're all in the same situation. You're parents of teenage boys that are in a competitive sport, that are traveling for matches and stuff. So there's a lot there.
So it is the first time that I'm experiencing something like that, and it is so much fun.
That's great. I changed jobs 2 years ago, and while I had my work wife, Sarah, and my work baby, I did not think that I would make close friends. Because you think a coworker is a coworker. You can put coworkers in many categories. And while they're not close friends, you do spend a lot of time with them, right? So you do find yourself with people at work that you really get along with. But sometimes those friendships ends at 5 o'clock and they pick up on Monday when you come back, and it's great. You feel comfortable. You can talk. You share stuff. They know stuff about you. You know about their husband, their kids, whatever. But from that, I have made a very close friend that recently I told her, "You're kind of stuck with me. I'm like a ugly freckle. I'm sorry." And she's like, "You're not going anywhere. My kids know you. You're their titi Wanda. That's it. Nowhere are you going." So I think it's great that even at this age, which sometimes I say that and I feel like I'm putting myself like a grandmother. I'm 82 years old. But you can make friendships at any age. And I think that's a beautiful thing, that you can find people that share your thoughts and dreams and hopes and vibes and energy, and they can show you that there's good people out there, and they show you love and true friendship, and they feed you when you're a single female that doesn't cook, and they think of you to bring stuff, and they travel and they come back and they're like, "Hey, I brought you something." That those are things that when you're younger, it's easier to make friends because you're going out and you're in university, or when you're a child, your parents force you, be friends with them. But when you're an adult and you're a discerning adult and you know what to look for in other people, it's great when you find like-minded people. I think also that there's different categories, right? Yeah. I think that friendships can be defined in many ways, and we're just lucky to have them, find them, keep them,
yes,
forever until we're old and we all move in together, side by side, with a shared back garden. We take care of each other's pets, and we form a small community of knitters, because at some point I'm going to take up knitting. I didn't know if you knew that. But knitters. You knit?
Yes.
You for 10 years. You knit?
Yeah, but I know that since I was 10 years old. My grandma taught me.
Oh, so nice. Okay, you can teach me to knit. See, something to look forward to, but
yeah. It was not very sexy.
But it's we can knit. It's fine. We can knit. I will be. My name is Wanda, and I knit. No, I don't. I will knit. So I think it's great. To our friends that are not here anymore, because we've had those where we've lost friendships, and to our friends who are very far away, that we are connected through laughter and tears and drunken stories, midnight drives, strawberry milk, and all that. I think it's great. It doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. Distance doesn't matter with those friendships. Hello, look at me and you.
But I also think that we are finally in the stage of our lives where we are able
to release ourselves.
Yes, to release all that negative energy or burdens that we are carrying. And that is bringing some comfort and peace. And we are fine. Just like we said the other day. Only love.
Yes, only love. Because that's the only thing that we have, that we all share. We have.
We will still call people idiots when we are pissed, but yeah, we will try to make this conflict less present in our lives.
And I can assure you that I will continue to have the friends that I have now. Hopefully. Ojalá. And if not, and I will continue to try to make new friends because we can't do it alone.
Yeah, I think that it's completely normal. Well, it comes with age. I'm sorry. You understand your priorities. It's completely different order.
Awesome. Maybe what I'm pushing.
Why always me? I'm pushing the furniture around the house, then I'm gonna push the wheelchairs. Now I'm gonna save money for our DR trip. And then we're gonna talk about the wheelchairs. Yeah. That we need to close this one.
We love our friends.
Absolutely. The ones that left, the ones that stayed, the ones that are gonna come.
The ones that taught us a lesson.
Oh my God, those are very much appreciated in every sense. Yeah.
We love you
just
guys.
Love them. Yes. And I love you.
I love you too, and not just because you give me great Serbian wine. And you let me sleep in your bed while you take the couch when I visit.
You're on a vacation.
On vacation. I love vacation me. You didn't even know what day it was today. What day of the week? I honestly don't know. I think it's great. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. For many to come.
What do we have next coming up? What can people look forward to?
With us, you never know.
Bye.